163 yards. So the first thing I'm going to know, I know 163 is the number. I was just into the wind, so now I'm downwind. I would say roughly 10 miles an hour. So I'm going to figure out what my safe cover on the bunker is. So 157 covers the bunker. Now, for me to be on the safe side, I'm going to add 5 to that. That way, if I mishit it a little bit, I've still got the bunker covered. So my new carry number is going to be 162 regardless. So I'm going to go 162. Now I'm downwind. So just like I said before, into the wind, I'm going to add 1% for every mile an hour of wind. When I'm downwind, I'm going to subtract a 0.5%. So for me, 162, that's going to be, I'm going to subtract 8 yards. So 162 turns into 154. So 154 is my new number. So that right there is going to be a hard, great full 9-iron. So this way, if I flush it, it's going to get all the way there. Now, how I'm going to play this shot. So if we turn and look at this here, so the pin is just right of that bunker that I was talking about covering. So I'm not even going to bring that bunker into play. I'm going to start this ball somewhere. I'm going to start this at the left edge of the right bunker. So that way I've got about 10 yards right of that to play with that is all green. And I've got another 10 yards left of that. So that, to me, that's my safest line to where I can be very aggressive here with my swing, with my motion, my shot selection, everything. So,
are you going for a draw?
Yes. So I'm going to be starting it at that. So I have up to 30 feet that I can draw this. That's a pretty big draw for most players. So, and I know that that's not going to bring trouble into play. So I'm going to rehearse my feels for a draw. I'm going to keep looking where I want to see the ball start. I'm going to be so in tune with my start line to where I'm not looking at the water, I'm not looking at bunkers, I'm picking out a tree, the edge of the building up there, and that is the only place I'm going to fixate my eyes on. So I'm not looking at anything else. I'm going to start the ball there, turn it, and my number is 154. So that's going to be a solid start right, draw, 9-iron. So I'm going to come in here, set my face at the building. Hands are on. I'm using my body lines now as I'm looking at where my start line is. I'm going to put the ball a hair back in my stance so that I can make sure I get extra out of it to make sure this carries 154. And then I'm going to rip it. All right. Caught it a little bit heavy, so I'm about 15 feet underneath it, but I hit my start line, got my curvature, played the right golf club, figured out my yardage. So even though that shot didn't come off perfect, I've got about 20 feet for birdie right there. That's why process is huge. That's why you put so much intention into start line. Like that is where your eyes fixate on that so that you train yourself. You're swinging to that window, you're swinging that direction, you're looking that direction. So you become a lot more instinctive that regard as opposed to saying, did my right arm do the right thing? Did I do this? Did I have the proper amount of side bend? That's the stuff we use for the driving range. Like that was a pretty poorly mishit shot, and I've still got a chance at making birdie right there. So just walking into this already, I've got a pretty good feel of what this putt's gonna do. Now the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a peek at this here, analyze that. I need to decide, is that going to have influence on this putt? Is this gonna have influence? So if I can't tell for certain, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna walk to the halfway point of my putt. Now me, I putt with the ball straight down to where I don't see any logo and I see whites because I like to be more instinctive with putting. I do teach a line. I'm not saying a line's bad. I think a line works great for a lot of people. Just for me, I get too focused. I get my eyes down at the golf ball for too long. I like being out here where the shot's actually happening. So I'll come in here, set up next to it, look at my line. Now my first putting stroke, this is really important. My first putt practice stroke's always going to be longer than what it actually needs to be. And then from there, I'm going to start to slow it down to where I'm like, okay, there's where my speed is. Then I'm going to step up, sit and go. All right, so kicked it a little bit more right off of this than I thought. However, I really do like making stress-free pars. Golf is a game of misses, unfortunately.